Let's begin today's Vanguard news by giving players nostalgia bonus as Vermillion, the Blood and Glory Maelstrom are confirmed to be in DZBT06. Meanwhile, ESL players are still wondering if they'll ever go platinum or just keep playing the superior Reziel deck instead. Also in DZBT06, Dragon Empire and Keta Sanctuary finally get a Masques deck with Gandiva and Sol Ryron being the first in their respective nations, especially Sol Ryron being
"No one cared who I was till I put on the mask."
So on top of Graham Grace and Sol Ryron's new forms, this set supposedly also has Thegria and ESL's new forms. So either one of them is not in this set, or Keta Sanctuary is only getting 4 triple rare cards with none of them being a generic support. Coming next year will be DZBT06's unit sleeves, which actually feels refreshing to see that there's currently no waifu designs, just some big ass dragons and an Agi Pope. That is until Venus Luquia ruins the streak, because she didn't get sleeves previously until now. The conspiracy theorist in me speculates that Venus Luquia was originally planned to released in this set, but got pushed to released early due to DZBT03 having no selling point for dark states. Sacrifice Glass and his Big Mommy don't count. The lack of ESL confirmation news is probably due to the new Koro collab in DZSS04 that's also part Keta Sanctuary, and Bushiroad didn't want to undermine their reveals. Dekasugi Dekakun is your typical D-series starter that will make you want to go out to eat, even though you're on a budget. Big struggle in the Skyscraper District. Dekakun, while on Vanguard, lets you soul blast one Koro card instead of discarding a card when you would ride a Dekakun Koro card from your eye deck. One less reason to stock up on biscotti if you plan to build this deck. Big Summer Camp Dekakun once per turn while on Vanguard lets you reveal either a grade 3 Dekakun or Koro card from your eye deck to reveal the top card of your deck, then add it to your hand. If it was a Koro normal unit card, it is put back on top of your deck if it's not. This card reminds me of Thegria's grade 1 ride line, but better, as you can add it to your hand instead of calling it in rest state, and it has no grade restrictions. History's biggest protagonist Dekakun upper body while on Vanguard gets 5k power and an extra drive check if he's in overgrown state. While on Vanguard, he gets an extra crit when he attacks a Vanguard and you Persona Road that turn. And once per turn while on Vanguard, you can pay 2 energy to call up to 1 History's biggest protagonist Dekakun lower body to back row rear guard in the same column as this card from either your deck or drop zone. Overgrown state is where Dekakun's upper and lower body cards are in the same column, like your Performing Legion, but are in separate circles. While in this state, both upper and lower body cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects, so this card outright hard counters Shiranui as it cannot dominate its legs, nor can it dominate the Vanguard with Mukuro. And rear guard upper and lower bodies in overgrown state moves to the Guardian Circle at the same time, and will have a total 10k shields. This card basically has all the best Vanguard centric skills in the game besides being a Restander. And this would have been a good counter to Shojo Doji if not for him binding the cards in the rear guard circle instead of the unit itself, and thus Dekakun's legs get bound and he loses his overgrown state. History's biggest protagonist Dekakun lower body while on the back row rear guard becomes in overgrown state if History's biggest protagonist Dekakun upper body is in the same column as this unit. And while on the central back row rear guard, you can pay 1 counter blast if it's an overgrown state and you did not ride this turn to ride History's biggest protagonist Dekakun upper body from your deck and activate Persona Ride if you did not do so this turn yet. The fact that both body parts search the other while also providing itself immunity from control decks is insanely good. That Bushiroad putting a Persona Ride assist ability just sweetens the deal even more. Big launch Dekakun Robo upper body when placed on the front row rear guard lets you pay 2 energy if you have either a Dekakun or Koro Vanguard to call up to 1 big launch Dekakun Robo lower body to back row rear guard in the same column as this card from your deck. And once per turn while on rear guard, you can pay 1 counter blast when your grade 3 or higher Dekakun Vanguard attacks and your units did not stand by your card's ability this turn to stand all of your rear guards in overgrown state in the same column as itself. Not only does the deck have triple drive, permanent 5k power on Vanguard, and extra crit, it also has a restanding rear guard. The only thing missing is a guard restrict ability and a draw engine. Big launch deck Cocoon Robo lower body, while on the back row rear guard becomes in overgrown state if big launch deck Cocoon Robo upper body is in the same column as this unit. And while on rear guard, it gets 10k power when it boosts while in overgrown state and your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or higher. A restanding 28k column without Persona Ride would make the Order card A Warrior's Rest really powerful in this deck. Finally, we have 2 Regalis piece being reprinted with Koro artworks being that Crockett is Gracious Gradale and Mysterious Joker being 4B doll surrogate. Assuming the English game does get this set in the future, Mysterious Joker just might be one of the best reprints to date. It would be funny if Bracing Angel Ladder would get a 3rd reprint in this set, just to screw with Shiranui players. And that concludes this Vanguard news without the bullshit. Special thanks to my Patreon members for continuing to support my content creation. Be sure to subscribe and let me know in the comments if Platina Rezel won't be in this set, because Thegria might have 2 forms.